Morning. I don't know what number this is. I'm not keeping track now. I told you I wanted to tell you about meeting David and a little bit of our first year together, marrying and all. This was in 68 when I met him. We married in 70. These were some rough years for an interracial couple. I really think that the harder the world tried to pull us apart, the harder we stuck together. Anyway, this is a chapter from something I'm working on, and it's called Marrying David. And I'm just going to read for a while. And forgive my looking this way. I'm still trying to work it out, yeah. We met in my second year at Tarrant County Junior College. That's what it was called back then. We were both working our way through school, and we happened to be sitting at tables in registration across from each other. We were signing people up to attend. This was only the second year of existence for TCJC. That first morning, I looked up to see a tall, lanky, gorgeous young black man gazing at me. He smiled slightly, and I smiled back. Can't see without my glasses. I ducked my head because I was still pretty shy. Later in the day, I found a note on the table in front of me, and it had my name on it. Now, we had name tags, so that wasn't a big deal he knew my name, and I knew he was David. I opened the note underneath the table so no one else could see. And it said simply, "Linda is a doll." That's quotes. I became bold and wrote a note back. It said simply, "David is beautiful." Quotes. And as silly as this may sound, those notes, the essence of them, are etched in my heart's memory. They were the beginning of a long and grand relationship. David and I became close. We started hanging out together in the library where we both ended up working during the year on the work-study program. He told me early on that he was in love with me and someday he was going to marry me. Now, I'd made a pact with a girlfriend a while back. Neither of us was going to get married. Regardless, David was interfering with that. For over a year, we remained close, confiding in each other, helping each other, going out, dating really, but I wasn't calling it that. David every now and then interjected, "I'm going to marry you. You're going to love me." Well, I did love him. I just hadn't realized that it could be a romantic love. I tried hard not to let it get me, but it did. And I'm so glad. One day I looked into David's eyes deep. Must have been January of 70, I guess. And I asked, "Is that offer still good? The one to marry you?" He was ecstatic, lifting me off the ground, hugging and kissing me. We were rarely apart after that. We were met with challenges everywhere we went as a couple. And this wasn't new. We'd been going places for a long time now. It was infuriating when we arrived at the Marriage License Bureau and had to wait while the clerks at the back of the room, behind the counter, argued, literally argued, over who was going to wait on us. I ventured that the young woman who reluctantly came forward had drawn the short straw. With license finally in hand, we searched for an officiate. We may have been naive, but we knew that to plan a big wedding would cause more hassle than we wanted to face at the time. So we went to school, our haven, our safe place, and we found our friend Mike Chalupka, who was an ordained minister with the Church of Universal Life. March 23rd, 1970. Under a young tree in front of the Student Union building on the TCJC campus, at 10:50 a.m. on a Monday, Between classes, Mike married us. Friends were a little upset that they weren't invited, but they understood the issue inherent in waiting. So many folks would have tried to delay us, to stop us. Who knows what would have happened? We immediately went to David's parents' house to tell them. I recall his mom's folded arms and tight-set lips, and his dad's welcoming smile. Such differing reactions. His siblings, all 5, were thrilled, squealing in that way that knows no prejudice. It was sweet. Then we went to tell my mom. She already knew. Seems my 2 roommates at my Fairmount apartment, my friends, had heard and called her right away. I don't know even today what the motive was for that. My mom, the racist, was incensed and began talking divorce that day. She would follow up the offer to pay for our divorce over the next several months, sending letters to me in California and then in person when we returned. She threatened to kill David, and when that didn't work, it was a heavy scene. We were standing in the front yard being refused entrance. She said I could come in, but not him, and I wasn't going anywhere without my husband. My husband. In the midst of her anguish, and it was very real anguish, she took photos of us. I've posted them on Facebook from time to time. They're our only wedding pictures. We stayed with Melody and Bob, friends from the gang, that night. They gladly gave their room in the 2-room flat they occupied to us for our newlywed night. I am so grateful for friends who have always known our true colors. Melody gave me the talk that evening, thinking as she did that it would be our first time together. I didn't have the heart to pop that bubble with the truth, and I just listened and felt thankful that she cared so much. Thank you, Melody. We left town the following day for Los Angeles. David's grandfather lived there, and we needed to get the hell out of Dodge. Peace.